In Consumer Corner, we take a look at the trends and products that are creating a buzz in China today. And today we will examine the controversies and opinions on the topic of buying luxury-level items in China and abroad. It is no surprise that China has gotten a taste of the good life and for fashionable luxuries. As Western markets began dropping, luxury firms turned their gaze upon the Middle Kingdom. However, their ambitions in China have also been met with some frustrations. Blizzard warnings are up all across the luxury market in China, and a cold snap has been forecast for fancy goods. With a compound annual growth rate of 10% in 2012, way down from 30% in only 2011, big retail luxury chains are hitting the brakes after years of breakneck growth. PPR, one of the world's biggest luxury groups, announced a halt in the expansion of Gucci outlets in China. Last month, the head of LVMH, Mr. Bernard Arnault, said that his luxury group is locking down in the second and third tier cities in China. Likewise, luxury groups Burberry and Richemont. Luxe brands in the collections of PPR, Burberry, Gucci, LV, and others all took hits in 2012. In fact, China's luxury market grew by only 7% last year, compared with a growth of 30% in 2011. The downturn in China's luxury market may be in part due to overseas shopping sprees by affluent Chinese. Luxury brands which keyed in on the domestic Chinese have discovered that their targeted consumers spend 60% of that money in Europe, Singapore, and Hong Kong, and many Chinese even plan their foreign travel around shopping. For instance, while 51% of affluent shoppers bought watches abroad in the 12 months prior to August 2012, only 31% bought one in China during that same period. While China's government is driving domestic consumption, it has also kept tariffs high for luxury goods. The big price gaps drive many consumers to buy abroad, and Xinhua said that nearly 80 million Chinese shoppers traveled overseas in 2012. The slowing economy has put a dent in personal as well as corporate luxury spending. Some argued the country's recent bans on, quote, official consumption have also dampened growth in the luxury market. This ban is thought to be in part a PR move to douse growing social frustration at the perception of disparity between rich and poor. It may also be an effort to dampen corruption by discouraging the giving of luxury gifts. Interestingly, the Chinese leader's New Year's resolution to crack down on extravagance may have simply driven many of these wealthy to head overseas for their shopping, a fascinating paradox. It may be that China's luxury market tried to develop itself too far ahead of an immature domestic market. In fact, China is still a developing economy and subject to many social, economic, and governmental constraints. And many variables in aggregate today weigh upon the young mainland luxury market. While luxury brands have been increasing their prices worldwide, this is less so in mainland China. Perhaps this is an effort to nurture and sustain what luxury brands consider to be their most important long-term market. The issue of luxury consumption at home and abroad created a buzz on the internet. One netizen wrote, "Such tumbling sales may not be the case for the whole industry, and the action to withdraw from further expansion may be proof that these brands are actually very rational. But I wonder, when will China have luxury brands of its own and keep its purchasing power at home?" One poster wrote, "These things are just too expensive here, so of course people go overseas. I read that the tariffs can increase prices on imported goods by 30 to 50%. Now, how absurd is that? Plus, we have more choices in foreign markets where we can find truly unique and luxurious items." Some tried to raise the unspoken reason behind the slowdown in sales by the domestic luxury sector. One poster wrote, "That's because those bigwigs have to keep a low profile amid all the tongue-lashing and clampdowns over luxury buying and corruption." Although the briefest of visits to China may turn up many examples of conspicuous consumption, it will be interesting to see if joint efforts between government and market can turn the tide and entice Chinese luxury consumers back to the domestic market. China Price Watch will keep you posted. And that wraps it up for Consumer Corner and our take on the latest issues on Chinese high-end luxury shoppers, both in and out of China. Don't go away. Up next is Guess the Price.